Good evening, and welcome to Queen's Table. We have a very special guest this evening, Miss Lincoln, Great Britain, the lovely Jasmine Foley. How are you this evening, Jasmine?
I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very good, thank you. You had a good week so far. Mind you, we're on Tuesday, aren't we? It keeps flying by, though.
Yeah, you know what? It's turned out to be like a really, really busy week. I felt like I wanted the whole month up until Miss Great Britain to be time to relax, and I kind of planned it that way. And then this week I've just been contacted for like interviews and stuff. So it's ended up like I'm not going to turn them down. So it's ended up like I was up at 7 a.m. for a radio interview with BBC Radio Lincolnshire this morning. They rang me at 7 a.m. I was thinking, oh, I hadn't even had a coffee or anything yet.
You sound like you always need a coffee in the morning, but that's fabulous. Tell us a little bit about what you discussed on the radio this morning.
So it was just, I've been on BBC Radio Lincolnshire a couple of times now, mainly to talk about my project that we'll talk about today, Raising Them Resilient, and just about my journey to Miss Great Britain as well. But this morning they were talking about the cost of living crisis. So they just asked me and asked from like a mum's perspective if I could go on and talk a bit about how it's affecting us and the things we're doing. And obviously resilience plays a part in that as well. So yeah, it was an interesting conversation.
That sounds really interesting. Did you get your coffee afterwards, though?
I did.
Yeah, you always need coffee in the morning. So I'll start off with asking you, because obviously you're very experienced in pageants and everything, but you are competing in Miss Great Britain, which is next month. I can't believe it. So why did you choose Miss Great Britain?
So I think so my first pageant was 2019. So although I've had like a bit of like a whirlwind start and had quite a bit of experience in that, it was all kind of within like a year. And it was my introduction to pageantry was Finding Galaxy. And the main reason really that I wanted to do that was because I'd had anxiety quite badly in my early 20s. And then throughout my 20s, I kind of did a lot of personal development, found myself a lot more and decided that I wasn't going to let things that I'm scared of stop me from doing them anymore. And that's when it was like, right, well, let's do something that I would have been too scared to do before. So that's why I went in and did my first pageant. And I did that as a missus because I was already married at this point when I discovered pageantry. And then I went to watch Miss Great Britain. In that would have been maybe end of 2019 before everything happened with COVID and we had the pandemic. And I remember watching it and just being like, wow, I'd love to do this. But I think I would have technically aged out during the pandemic. But then they changed the age range and upped the age range after, and I'd had my daughter during the pandemic. So at that point, the pandemic happened and I thought, I don't know if I'll compete in a pageant again, because I'd had that experience that I really wanted. I kind of conquered what I wanted to do, and it was something I kind of ticked off my list. But then I had my daughter, and that's when I realized that I'd found what my true passion was. And obviously I'd done a lot of things about anxiety and stuff in the past from my own experiences, but having her, like, you know what it's like as a mum, your whole life changes, like the whole perspective on life, like they become your everything. And I just thought, I need to pass on the skills that I've learned to her. And that's how I came up with Raising Them Resilient, which is about teaching children resilience, coping strategies, and things that will hopefully prevent them from going through anything like I did in my early 20s. And then when I had that kind of idea, I thought, I need to do a pageant with this. Like, why not? Let's do it all. And Miss Great Britain upped their age range, and I was then eligible to compete in the Miss competition, which is something that I thought that I'd never be able to do because I was already married and things. So it just all felt right. It all fell into place and I couldn't really not do it.
It all sounds like it's all a bit of meant to be here, doesn't it? Everything that fell in place so lovely for you, and it's absolutely fabulous. This Raising Them Resilient is an amazing, amazing project. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? Because I've been looking into this over the last few days and it is absolutely exceptional. Just tell us all about that.
So when I came up with the idea for Raising Them Resilient, I knew that I wanted to like make as big an impact as possible, basically. So I reached out to a clinical psychologist called Dr. Anna Simmons, who I'd come across. I used to work on a mental health project. I was the digital lead at the University of Lincoln on a project there, and I'd met her along the time when I was working on that. So I just reached out to her and I said, you know, I really want to do this for children. Like, what do you think? Can I get some advice, some tips? And she was like, I love this. Like, this is so needed, especially after the pandemic. Children need it more than ever. And so she was like, I'll back you 100%. And she actually ended up sponsoring me for Miss Great Britain as well. So that was like a huge, another thing that felt right. You know, it all like fell into place. And so I started creating free worksheets that she checks as well. So a lot of it's kind of collaboration between us. So I'll ask her if there's any ideas she's got for worksheets, or I'll come up with some and I'll make them, and they're all kind of signed off by her because I wanted that professional touch to it. So they're aimed at kind of primary school children is the main aim. We've been into and done some workshops with primary school children as well, because actually 1 in 6 children have a probable mental disorder around that age, which is terrifying. I think it's about 5 in each classroom. So that's kind of the age I want to target, and for it to be preventative so that they learn this stuff, so hopefully they won't become one of those 1 in 6. So there's free worksheets that schools, so teachers, parents can go on and download and do with their children, that teaches them about feelings, that teaches them different coping strategies, and there's fun activities for them to do, like dragon breathing, and it's all, I wanted it all to be positive. The last thing I wanted was to have to sit the kids down and educate them on mental health. That's kind of not what we're doing here. It's about the positive, doing fun things with them and teaching them things in a fun way so that hopefully it will help them going forward.
It's so amazing. I mean, I did see that you had teamed up with a psychologist, which must give you reassurance that you are getting that amazing advice, and other people. Say if other people wanted to learn a bit more about this, where is the best place to go? I mean, I know we've got your Instagram and your webpage, which is going across the bottom here, which I will put in the comments afterwards. Is there anywhere that people can download these worksheets? Where would they find the information?
Yeah, so the website that you can see on the bottom, raisingthemresilient.co.uk, that's where people can go and you can download all the free worksheets from there. And you can also request school visits as well. So whether you're a school that wants us to come in and do a workshop, or we actually recently did a workshop with Nationwide Building Society, which was massive. They just reached out to me, they found me on Instagram and they wanted me to come in and do this session for their staff. And it was for a team of 200 people around like their inclusion and diversity aims. So that was like phenomenal. Like I never thought when I started this that it would come to the point where I was doing something as big as that. So yeah, I got to do that recently as well. So any organisation really, you know, any schools, any youth groups that wanted a visit, you can request that on the website as well.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. And it's really, really getting word out there. So what made you have the idea in the first place? When did it first come to you? And you did say it sort of happened around lockdown, but what gave you the idea in the first place?
It really was, I think, just having Mila, my daughter. So the pandemic happened and, you know, I had her. And it was those like early days where you lost your mind a little bit when you're a new mum, and you worry about every little, like my hormones were still all over the place. I was worried about every little thing, watching her sleep in case something happened. So like these like mama bear instincts were like on overdrive when I first had her. And I just remember just one day I was just there with her, just giving her, you know, this little newborn type cuddles. And I was just thinking, I need to protect you. Like, what can I do to stop you? Like, you think, oh, when they go to school, what if someone's mean to them, or all those things? And I thought, well, I can't stop it happening, but what I can do is like teach her the tools that she's going to need to get through it, and to be able to support her. So it kind of stemmed from me thinking about how I could teach her what I'd learned. And then I thought this could be used by all children. Like, all children need this kind of support.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible, because I know as a mum, from a mum to a mum talking to another mum, you know, we know how we get these emotions. I mean, yeah, hormones fly when you first have a baby, as you know, but you do get that very protective instinct to want to protect. That's just a fabulous way of doing it. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to be looking into downloading all this information myself and spreading the word myself, because I think it's absolutely incredible. So you're a new mum, congratulations. So how are you feeling about coming back to compete as a mum?
You know what, I think before I had her, I kind of thought, oh, I don't know, like, I don't know if it'll be the right time in my life to compete once I've had a child and stuff like that. You kind of have these doubts. Becoming a mum has been the making of me 100%. I think like I not only obviously I'm thinking about how I can teach her things. She's taught me so much, and it's like made me so much more confident in who I am and what I can offer to the world, I suppose. So I think if anything, I feel more ready now than I ever have before. And I think because I know what I want more now, I know what's important to me in life. So everything, I just know what I'm doing it for, and that makes the world of difference. I think like having a clear direction has actually made me more excited and more driven towards my goals as well. And even without the pageant, I'd still be doing the stuff I'm doing. And I think as I see that grow, my goal is to do more of that, whether that's with the crown or not. That's kind of what I want to get out of it.
That's wonderful. And you can see you're so passionate about it as well, which is just incredible. And I can see such a change in you, because obviously we met back in 2019, I think it was, wasn't it? I think, yeah. And I can just see the change and the passion in this project, which is just absolutely amazing. So I do believe that becoming a mum has definitely made you. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And a wonderful thing to embrace. So you've got the final next month. Let's talk a little bit about that. How's your preparation going and how are you feeling at the moment?
So really good, actually. I'm feeling really good about it. I feel like like I say, I think things that I'm doing have become the main thing, which has meant like I knew part of me obviously thought I'm going to do a pageant because I've had this idea and it all kind of fits together, and it gives me the pageant gives me that extra kind of voice to be able to push things further and get on the news to share the resources and things like that. But then also I wanted to do it for me as well, because as a mum, my whole life does revolve around my daughter every day, and actually the final will be the first time that I've been away from her for that length of time, because I'm away for 2 days and 3 nights, which is quite a big deal for me because I've only ever been away from her one night since she's been born. So yeah, like I thought though, I just wanted him treating it like a girl's holiday. I'm going to go and just have the best time and just focus on myself and really have fun with it. And that's why I think I feel ready for it, because I've done what I wanted to do and I'm ready to just go and enjoy it. And then whatever happens from there, I'll be happy either way.
Oh, it's going to be fun, and I can't wait to watch you on stage. It's going to be brilliant. And but I remember, yeah, going back to like you saying about when you first leave your child for a few days. It's quite hard, actually. I remember doing that. My husband was DJing abroad, and we had to leave Kira for 5 days, I think it was, our daughter. And I'll never forget what that was like. It's just like, oh, it's quite a big thing, isn't it? But obviously, it's just a couple of days, and you get to enjoy it with the girls. It'd be nice for you to have a bit of girl time as well, won't it? Without a doubt. So what are you most looking forward to on the night? Which round's going to be your favourite round, do you think?
So I think because of the things I'm doing, I am looking forward to interview probably the most, in terms of just going in and being able to talk about what I've done. Because I am, it's grown more than I thought it would. So I'm really proud of that. So I'm looking forward to sharing it. But then also, like I went to theatre school when I was younger. I love being on stage. I enjoy just the whole atmosphere and stuff of being on stage. So actually, I think I'm quite looking forward to fashion on the Thursday night. Although I'll love the big show on the Friday, it's a bit more like intimate on that Thursday night, and I think I'll quite like that, having the audience that bit closer, doing it in a different room. And also I never thought that it was going to happen, but I got into the beach body round as well on the Thursday daytime, so I'm looking forward to that as well, because it's not something I thought that I'd be doing as part of the competition. So to have got into that round, I'm looking forward to just like embracing it and being a part of that as well.
Oh, that sounds incredible. Just to explain to people, obviously, that might not know, that hasn't gone to watch Miss GB. It's divided up over a couple of days, isn't it? So you can just explain how the whole pageant works.
Yeah, so you register on the Thursday morning, and then we have our interviews during the day while we're in rehearsal. So we'll be rehearsing and having our interviews. And then the girls that have made it into the top 15, I think it is, for Beachbody, do the Beachbody competition in that afternoon. So we go out of rehearsals and do the Beachbody bit, which is separate to swimwear. There is also swimwear as well. And actually, speaking of Beachbody, like I think the fact that I've made it into the competition is testament to the fact that it is about how confident and you like how you feel in your picture for Beachbody as well. Because obviously I am a mum and things. I've been lucky that I've been able to work back to near the body that I had before, but still there's people, you know, that, you know, I wasn't expecting that I was going to get into that, but I did feel good in my picture. I enjoyed taking the picture, so I think it shows that that's obviously more what they look at for that round as well.
That's what's so important, isn't it? It's all about the confidence, you know, because I mean, I wasn't quite as lucky as you when I had my baby. I've still got curves and like rolly bits and all sorts going on with me, but it's all about, it doesn't matter because I can still get on stage in swimwear, and I won best swimwear this year, and it's about the confidence. I'm a size 14, you know, and it doesn't matter what size you are. It's just about how you feel on stage and that confidence on stage, isn't it? So it's very important. Any mums that are thinking about, you know, doing pageants, it is all about just getting that confidence and enjoying being on stage, isn't it?
Yeah, like 100%. And I feel like actually taking my Beachbody picture, I felt more confident than I ever have in a bikini or swimwear or anything before, because I think part of becoming a mum, you learn to love your body more as well. Your body gives you like the biggest gift that it ever could. So you love it in a different way. So although, you know, you probably forgive those little things that you didn't like about yourself more after, because you are grateful for what you got from it. So yeah, I think that does make a difference. And then Thursday night you have fashion wear, so that's done at the hotel, so it's a bit more of like an intimate setting. It's in like a conference type room, but that's where we do that. And then the awards night, so there's a talent round, so there'll be a talent winner, there's publicity winner, best in interview, and then the Beachbody winner. That I think there's a public choice as well. There's quite a few that are announced on the Thursday night, and then Friday's full day of rehearsals, and then you have the big show at the end, and you do your swimwear and your evening that everybody does that night as well.
Oh, it sounds absolutely wonderful. And I really, really can't wait to see you on stage. But thank you so, so much for coming on and talking to us. And from all of us at Pageantland, we wish you all the best of luck for next month. And we just can't wait to see you shine.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.